Have you ever declined an invitation to a party or event only to find out later that you really missed out on a great time? Maybe a party at work where everyone in attendance got an expensive gift, or maybe a family gathering where lots of wonderful friends you hadn't seen in forever showed up. Or maybe a sports game that ended in a thrilling last-second victory for your favorite team. Then, afterwards, someone who did attend makes the matter worse by uttering the entirely unnecessary words, "You should have been there." You just look at them with concealed agitation and possibly force a smile, filled to the brim with regret. Jesus told a parable about a wondrous banquet, and on the day of the celebration, the host sent out messengers to those who had been invited to let them know that the party was soon to begin. But those who had been privileged with invitations declined and responded with lame excuses. One man replied that he had bought a field and was heading out to look it over. Another replied that he had purchased some oxen and was going to try them out. And yet another rejected the offer on the grounds that he had recently been married. Jesus' listeners would have instantly recognized the absolute absurdity of such excuses. Only a fool would buy a field before surveying it. Only a fool would purchase oxen before testing them. And only a fool would skip a banquet because of his marital status. Behind the facade of these ridiculous excuses is the fact that these invited guests did not deem the feast worth the inconvenience. They had their own plans for how to spend the day, and they weren't about to change them. God has invited us to a wedding feast in heaven. He's invited us into his perfect kingdom. He's invited us to come home. If you read the Gospels in the Bible, you'll be reading your invitation. The home God has prepared for us is perfect, far better than anything we can experience on this earth. But he doesn't drag us home against our will like a runaway zoo animal that has been recaptured by its keeper. He's bridged the gap that separated us from home, dismissed from their post the cherubs and flaming sword which barred the way. And he calls out, sometimes quietly and sometimes loudly, beckoning for us to come home. Will we accept or reject the invitation? Like the foolish men in the parable, will we value our own plans more than his? Will we refuse to change our priorities and instead offer up lame excuses? I'm too focused on advancing in my career, too involved in the lives of my family, and too busy enjoying all the entertainment that this earth has to offer. Quite simply, I'm just too dedicated to my home on this earth to trade it in and dedicate myself to God's kingdom. If that is you, I plead with you to thoughtfully read your personal invitation found in the Bible, because I don't want you to miss out on the greatest homecoming celebration of all time. You have been invited to where you truly belong. You have been invited to return to paradise, to Eden, to that garden in the east, to God's presence, to home.